Hello, Americans. This is the third part of my series of vlogs. As I told you before, the name our country the wealthiest nation on the planet Earth. We have enormous wealth, 600,000 more or less of gold, plus the deuterium gas that we missed to explore. Deuterium gas was to be explored during Marcos years, but sadly, Marcos was ousted because of the CIA. Many blogs you can read. The CIA is responsible for the ouster of Marcos. Why? And now, I call him now, President Bongbong Marcos. They are bent to destroy him. They are bent, including this oligarch of our country. Yan ang mga oligarko na yan. Ang gusto pa nila, pabalikin ang ABS-CBN. Pero magbayad mo na. Magbayad mo na ng buwis. Sila di marunong magbayad eh. Gusto nilang sirain si Marcos. Ano naman kinalaman ng anak? Hindi naman totoong mamatay tao si Marcos. Walang kinalaman si Bongbong sa lahat ng pangyayari. Ang CIA is bent to destroy Marcos. They acknowledge Marcos as the custodian of that World Bank. I will never rectify my words because that was the very word that we heard from Marcos, that he is part of the founding of the World Bank and he facilitated all this in the last years of war. Gila pa! Saan ba naghiram ang Amerikano to finance the war? Saan ba naghiram ang mga allied? Saan pa may ganin? Kaya nga, he was instructed by the Pope to go to this and formulate the World Bank. He formulated the global debt facility. Kaya, he was bent to be ousted by the CIA. Alam mo ba yung 300 committee? Oh, it's all run by the secret society. I will not mention. But all of these things are run by the secret society. They acknowledge to be the Marcos rule of that global cost facility. When Marcos foretold that there will be the financial crisis happens, as if they are wondering, because that year ending coming 1995, kaya nga ako natatawa eh. Sabi nila, ang custody ni Marcos is still under the foundation divine. Ano, may foundation divine ba na may limitation? No, it is this guise of Satan. Kasi wala na eh. Bakit naging global collateral ng lahat? Wala na eh. Wala nang precious metals. Yang US dollar na yan, Guaranteed yan sa global debt facility. Oh. Kaya, everything in this world is lies. And now, they are bent to destroy Bongbong, President Bongbong Jr., including the surrogates of the CIA, mga ahente pa ng CIA, mga Pilipino, nagpapagamit sa CIA. May isang presidential pa na kanilang kinokadal. Gusto nilang manalo. Tinatanggap na itong walang utak na presidential. That's according to source, ha? I gathered. It was been text to me that this Pacquiao is being handled by the CIA. Why? Why does CIA go after the Marcoses? Why are so they interested of damaging the Marcoses? Because of the truth. They deny a lot of thousands of inquiries of blogs that relates to Marcos and the World Bank. Why deny? If so, present credible witness testimonies. Why let that World Bank employee suffers because he is the source of that leak? But I, for one, have to tell you the truth that it was from the mouth of Marcos. He says that he was instructed by the papacy to go and build this bank of reconstruction and development. How do we reconstruct when all the wealth, all the precious metals gone? You see, on that last will and testament, only the precious metals looted by Hitler and Mussolini was not part of the inventory because they were always on the go in their escape route going to the east. That enormous amount of wealth does not include the wealth taken from many countries in Europe conquered by Mussolini and Hitler, because they reach this place, everything is closed. And that wealth of the theater, the war theater in Europe, was also lost among the operatives of Alpha Omega, to where it was only a radio message that this group of operatives received. But luckily, we are that wealth, which is most of relics taken from the different churches of Europe, are found already. The location is found, but we stop it temporarily. We do not know how much is the gold brought about during the war, the spoils of the war. These countries in Europe are the remnants of the Persian, the Assyrian, the empires noon na naging tanawin ni sino ba yung propeta? Na naging tanawin niya na ang ulo ni Nebuchadnezzar is the golden years, to which Nebuchadnezzar conquered Israel upon the death of Solomon. And Nebuchadnezzar was punished by God. Naging loko yun. Kumakain hindi lang ako marunong sa Biblia. Maraming marunong yan. But I seek no counsel to them. Si Nebuchadnezzar, siya ang unang umatake sa Israel sa pagkawala ni Solomon. Siya ang unang kumuha sa mga ginto. Itinapon ang Ark of the Covenant. Kaya pinarusahan ng Diyos siya. Naging loko-loko. Kumakain ng grass. And then comes the Assyrian under Darius. And there comes many more. That is why the wealth of God given to Solomon was scattered in many countries, mostly of Europe. Just like the movie of The National Treasure by Nicolas Cage. Have you remember that? That is just show of the masonry. All the signs and symbols there are the masonry. But that is a fiction. And now we are bent to find like what Indiana Jones did, the mines of Solomon. Here in this country, here is the wealth of God, the true wealth of God brought by Solomon, excluding the 25 tons yearly given by the kings surrounding Solomon as an offering. 25 tons. So, can you imagine? 25 tons per annum. For how many years is the reign of Solomon? Even Queen Sheba naman nga siya. Even the highways leading to the kingdom are paved with gold. That's why I said Israelites before experienced through opulence, through austerity, through peace during the reign of Solomon. And it will come to us here in this country. I'll assure you of that. Once Marcos failed to meet who among the 5,000 cream of crop of Alpha Megans. Cream of crop sa ibig ko bang sabihin, diyan lalabas ang totoong tagapagmana. Hindi si Anthony Santiago Martin. Anybody could claim. Marcos told, you can claim because we question him. How do you know it's Santiago? Santiago is the descendants, nephew of the founding fathers of Alpha Omega. How? Anyone can claim. The wealth is not intended to the bank. The wealth is here. You see? No banks. Nowhere to go. Who are those pretending to be? Alam mo ba? Ng plano ng Diyos. Lahat ng plano ng Diyos ay hindi alam ni Satanas. Pero ang lahat ng plano ni Satanas, kahit sa pinaka maliit, ay alam ng Diyos. Kaya, anybody, you claim it. Wala namang wala. Oh. Kaya sinabi ko sa first vlog, I am Anthony. But in real sense, Anthony is just like a myth. Because during the stint of Marcos, he'd never met among our generation, he calls it golden boy generation. Because on that generation will come out the true bloodline of Solomon. And it's not about Bongbong Marcos. That's why there's an abolition clause. Meaning, walang involvement. Marcos was the descendants of Hector, who travels north to south. And Hector is the descendants of that king which King Solomon entrusted to bury his gold in this land. He is the descendants. That's why in the will, andun siya. Anong code niya? Ang hindi niya pa napangalanan, itong si Wonder Boy. Saan si Wonder Boy? Sino mag-claim? Pero yan Anthony Martin Santiago, alam namin. Ako, magpanggap ako. We can do it. Kaya, kahit sino. Pero may protocols yan. Because in real sense, the custodian's rule of Marcos was given to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. It was transferred. And why they say is after of the Bongbong? The whole agreement was signed by Her Majesty and Her Excellency. The custodianship. Diyan at saka yung nangyaring una, may term limit kasi yun eh. It is custodianship of Marcos, but it is under the foundation divine, which has 50 years of existence and expires in the early month of 1995. And you see what happened next. A few years later, there was a total crisis, financial crisis that damaged the world and Asia. You see? That custodianship was transferred so purposely to Queen Elizabeth. They signed an agreement with all the miscellaneous agreements, with all the miscellaneous, marami pa. Ay baka yun ang habol ng CIA. Baka the presidency of Bongbong Ferdinand Marcos is destined para siyang the first, this is my advice only to President Bongbong. Accept this because this is truly happening. You must sign first an executive order protecting this wealth. You cannot see the wealth, but once, because part of that agreement of your presidency is the coming of the true heir of Solomon. The coming of the true heir of Solomon that knows everything. He has the knowledge. He has the wisdom. Kaya nga nasa will, si Anthony Martin Santiago, pwedeng magtayo ng Global Bullion Bank. Hindi Global Foundation of Divine. Walang laman yun. Puro credit facility. Puro kinakolektorize. Baka ang land mismo ang isa kasama doon. Oh. So, the dollar is so dependent of that. And the one who manages it is the Trilateral Tritium Group. USA, UK, and France. That's why we are in the world of utang. Lahat ng galaw natin sa mundo ay nasa loob ng utang. Global Debt Facility. Lahat ay utang. That's why it bubbles. It is out of control. And there comes an impending global meltdown. I was told of it by the guardians, it will happen. But we will not experience, because that is the prophecy in the Bible. Mangyari yun kasabay ng rise of this country to a pure opulence, for a pure austerity. So that's why the presidency of Bongbong Marcos, it is of my legal advice. It is of my fervent prayer. I said, I am not on my next series. We will experience the true opulence, the true austerity, and true peace when this day will come. It has been prophesied. It has been foretold by the Bible. It is written there. I am not so familiar of that. I'm not a well-trained interpreter. I have a friend request from a bishop. Maybe if he just near to me, I'll go to him. What is this? So, kaya sulatan ko siya. Ano ang ibig sabihin niyan? Especially the role of Queen Elizabeth. Alam ko kung ano ang role ng bakit inilipat ni Marcos ang ancient Alpha Omega ring at ang lahat ng custodial ship sa world. Hindi lang yung wealth na discovery, yun lang ang instruction ng Papa. Bakit nilipat sa kanya yun? Kay Queen Elizabeth. May minsaya ako sa guardian. May minsaya ako sa Holy Spirit. That He is responsible for Queen Elizabeth good health, long life, because of His rule. And mind you, people, unscrupulous people who pretends to be, they don't understand what that will means. Is ang tiningan nila, nalula ang mata nila sa amount. Kung hindi nila alam kung saan bangko. Kaya kayo, huwag kayong mag-claim. Because baka mahirapan kayo. Una, saan bangko ba? Ang wealth na yan na hindi pa under pa sa pagdating ng true year of Solomon. Ang wealth na yan, paano ba? Kaya, sa ngayong nangyari ang COVID-19, si Queen Elizabeth ay para ring COVID. May protocols yan. Oh, magugas kayo ng kamay, magmask kayo. Baka yan lang, hindi. Makalapit kayo sa Queen. Pero may protocols yan in an agreement with Marcos. And what are these protocols? You are the one presenting as the heir of Solomon. You must bring to me the poor. Before to me, I do not say poor. Before to me, the broken pieces of my master plan. God has made a broken pieces to be the completion of His master plan. That's what you proved to Queen Elizabeth. That is part of the, maybe part, because that is given by the Holy Spirit, handed by the guardians. Kaya, isa pa, you must bring the first, second, third chapters of the Blue Book, because there are 4 Blue Books. This is the overall plan of God. Dahil mo yan sa harapan ng Queen, ito ang first and third chapter. Kaya huwag kayong magpanggap. Narito po, mahal na Reyna. 3. Ang pang-4 na sa'yo for your safekeeping. And we bound this Blue Book into one. Kaya atensyon kayo mga CIA. Huwag kayong mag-ambisyon. Ang panahon ng mga demonyo matapos na. Oh, patayin mo kaming 5,000 cream of crop. Hanapin mo kami sa saan man sulok sa mundo. Mga surrogate of Satan. Hanapin nyo ang true ear of Solomon that can unearth this bulk treasures that will be used. Kaya nga sa Last Will and Testament, pinangalan ng Anthony Martin Santiago. Kasi hindi niya nakilala eh. Hindi pa niya nakilala. Ni Marcos during his time, hindi pa niya nakilala kung sino itong tao. Pero makikilala ito ng Reyna na mag-claim ng ancient ring of Alpha Omega. At ang mag-claim ng custodianship, mga miscellaneous agreements, ay kasama niyang dalhin ang broken pieces of God's master plan. Kasama niyang dalhin ang 3 chapters of the Blue Book to unite into one book. At to prove himself that he can unearth, kaya para bang nahukay na niya a minimum of 10,000 tons of gold. Na yun ay may golden inventory plates. Plates lang naman dalhin. Ito, mahal na Reyna, ang pang-4 na requirements ko, na to prove that I am the heir apparent of Solomon. Hindi madali mag-claim dahil wala namang pera ang pinag-uusapan dyan, wala namang bangko sa Last Will and Testament. And many wants to destroy Marcos, want to discredit Marcos. Why? The custodianship of that global facility, debt facility, utang, nailipat na kay Queen Elizabeth. Bakit hanggang ngayon ang CIA is bent to destroy Marcos? The oligarchs, of course, the oligarchs, out of this, their own business interest. Gusto nang kontrolahin ng tao para patayin, mamatay sa gutom. Kaya nagpagamit yung mga oligarko na yan. Nagpagamit sa mayayaman na mga kwan. And the first, we experienced the first 50 years sa pag-manage nila. And of course, I am pretty well knowledgeable of these 300 groups of European bankers. Oh, they are all belonging to the secret societies. You cannot be there. Even in the Philippines, you cannot be promoted if you do not belong to the secret society. You will become generals, you will become... Ganyan ang mga secret society gumagawa. Mga paraan nila para makontrol nila. Hindi nyo makontrol ang Alpha Omega. Mind you, Ang akala nun ng CIA, pag nawala si Marcos, everything is gone. No! There are millions of us. Paano mo patayin ang itinayo ng Diyos? Just like the Catholic Church, paano nila patayin ng mga ibang reliyon? Itinayo ni Kristo yan eh. Even, I'll be with you till the end of time. Sinungaling kung mapatay mo. Sinungaling na nag-propagate ng doktrina unang sinungaling? Ang unang Kristiyano na was totally annihilated. Sinungaling? Si Kristo o yung hindi ko na lang sasabihin. I want to hurt anything, everybody. But I am go direct because this world is for humanity. Purposes of humanity. Kahit pa totoong seed of Satan kayo. Makikinabang kayo. You see the parable of Christ? My father was a good farmer. In daytime, he sowed good seeds. But at nighttime, enemy came and sow another seed. No difference. Intermingling, Kaya maraming matitigas ang ulo, Katoliko. Maraming nagpapagamit sa mga madaling kinakalaban si Marcos. Alam nyo, Marcos is a descendant of that king to which Solomon entrusted to ship out and to bury his gold, the one that was given to him as gift of the other kingdoms. Siya ang descendant, kaya siya ay nasa will. But everything already evolves into one. Okay, Wonder Boy. Kaya nga, tinawag ang henerasyon namin, pinili ang cream of crop because he expect to meet the genuine bloodline of Solomon, the heir apparent of the wealth of God. Kaya, tinawag niya ang henerasyon namin, the golden boy generation. Wala ito sa kalaman ng tao. Kalaman lang ito sa Alpha Omegans. Millions of us. And much nakatira sa isang lugar na sikreto. Lahat nandun. Lahat ng see? This is the truth. I was corrected by my daughter, Shen, when she told me he overheard a interview that this is a myth. No. Anthony Martin Santiago to us is of our generation. We have the different gap limit, our gap of age, but we belong to the golden boy generation. Imelda Marcos, Bongbong Marcos, Irene and Amy knows nothing about this. But Marcos was our OOD before. During the war, he was OOD. He gets his gold in every extraction. He gets his gold in every deposit. 1%. That is legal, acceptable before God. He gets no value of money, but he gets physical gold. Kaya ang alam ni Imelda, trader si Marcos. Out of question. Out of question yun. Pero being the administrator of Alpha Omega has one share, a 1% share, which is divided among those who are involved. Kaya, yun. Yun ang totoo. Ako'y nagsasadya ang katotohanan. Bakit pa habulin ng mga crook sa US? Politicians, leaders, why do you have to destroy Bongbong? Maybe he is part of the agreement, the miscellaneous agreement given by Marcos to Queen Elizabeth. But mind you, to present yourself before the Queen, kaya nga, nabasa ko ang isang mensahe ng Diyos. I give Elizabeth long life, better health. Kung tingnan mo, mas namamayat pa yung mister niya. Namatay na yun nung una. Soon, this would soon come into existence because the Queen is old enough. And God soon will take him to rest. His rule to be the second custodian, as Marcos had turned over to him, will be ended. And this true year of Solomon will come to lay claim of the ancient Alpha Omega ring and disagreements. And thus, that's why I was wondering, the night or the day around 3 o'clock I prayed. I usually pray because we are trained Alpha Omegans. We always seek wisdom to God. When I pray, after praying, suddenly a guardian sat beside me and told me, why are you joining the circus? What circus? You claim to be Anthony Martin Santiago. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. The clock is clicking. We understand what does it mean. The clock is clicking. So there might be another global economic meltdown. That's why I wrote that in advance in my article. I encourage you to read my article. That is the true message of God. How it comes into existence, the wealth of Solomon. This nation shall rise from the ashes, as Marcos had said. This nation will rise again. This nation will be great again. That is his very word, which he utters and we hear. That's why everybody is looking at the will and testament, commenting about it, but they acknowledge the rule of Marcos of the global debt, yung utang, debt, global debt facility. Marcos is the custodian, legal. They acknowledge that, of that foundation divine. Bakit interesado bang si sige, punta kayo sa London. Gagawa ka ng milagro doon to undermine the London economy. Because the custodialship is being transferred to Queen Elizabeth. I don't know what are the miscellaneous agreement. But if you are posing as one impostor, according to my daughter, marami palang mga impostor dyan, Dad. Ikaw ba impostor? No, I'm not impostor. But I claim I am not. Anthony Santiago Martin is one of our batch, one of our generation. He is the descendants of the founding fathers of Alpha Omega in the 13th century, Archbishop Santiago. That's why I made it clear, wala pang nakakalam kung sino yun. At kasi ang true and genuine ear of Solomon can unearth, he can read all and decipher all what is written, the secret codes. Kaya, huwag kayong bastot-bastot mag-claim. Huwag niyong tingnan yung pera, yung amount. Hindi pa naman pera yun. Hindi pa naman pera yun. Andun lang yun. Totoo yun. Pero bakit nakasama si Queen Elizabeth? Kung Marcos lang last will. Dahil nailipat na kay Queen Elizabeth ang custodianship ng Global Debt Facility. Utang. Tayo'y nabubuhay sa utang. Tayo'y there's a comment there na ang utang na ito ay minamanage nila by the tripartite group. Minamanage nila, including these 300 or so bankers of Europe. But, mind you, the control, the mightier nation control, and the policies of this, running this foundation divine. Kinakontrol na yan ng tao. Kaya tao din yan yung gumawa niyan. Solusyon lang sa giyera. Solusyon lang matapos ang giyera. Dahil, alam ko, pag natapos ang giyera, ng Second World War, kahirapan. Dahil tayo nagsisimula ulit. And there's the claim of Italiano that they own that gold. Kaya nga sinabi ko, sanang minahan nila. God owns the gold. Everything. It is brought here by different empires, by different groups. Mostly, the Knights Templar. The group of Magellan, part of that. History, according to Marcos, when we have our sitting is one lecture, man learns nothing from history. Lahat yun, yung nakita natin sa history book, wala yun. Kaya kami, pinapadala kami sa labas on special studies. Intensive yun. 2 years, we study intensively about gold, being the economic barometer of the globe, being the economic barometer of a nation's activity, economic activity. Malay ko, isa sa mga pinadala ni Apo, si Bongbong, mismong anak niya. Kasi, pero, yung certificate na hawak niya, parang, remind you, sino ba itong vice presidential na tumakbo noon? Mind you, that certificate is more important to Bongbong. He depended it. Yun ding certificate na ibigay sa amin. Importante yun. Dahil pinag-aralan namin ang ginto. Walang iba. Alam namin mag-process. Alam namin, no? Kasi, there comes a time that we will process our own gold. Kaya, nagkaroon ng kami ng 3 years intensive special training. Nagkaroon kami ng study. I was there outside to learn, to study. I was sent by the Apo, and I was grateful to Apo of that opportunity given to me. I was once assigned as OOD, Overseas Operation Division. Rizal was OOD. He belongs to maybe 4th generation. Silang nauna eh. Ang mission niya, number 1, to get back the Alpha Omega ring, which is in the hands of the missionary. Kaya naging mason din siya eh.